What's up, guys? It's your boy Miggle. We got my boy Sani up in here, one of my first ever students into the Family Legacy University coaching program. Sani, why don't you introduce yourself to the people and start off by telling everyone who you are, what you currently do for work and in real estate.
Yeah. Hey everyone. Nice to meet you. I'm Sunny. I'm currently in Austin, Texas, and as Mingo said, I'm one of the first few students, which is still shocker, honestly.
We've grown a lot since
Yeah,
then, so
yeah, because it's exactly like every time I get on Zoom or Slack, I see so many like people, which is really awesome to see the community like growing like that. I work
Mhm.
personally on like a employee side for a real estate company as a market researcher, and of course, I also have
Mhm.
a real estate business overall where I own a few properties. I rent them out, and of course, I'm trying to get into fix and flip, which is what brought me to Mago and this whole new aspect of like a credit line and all that stuff.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And I know originally when we started speaking, right, you had a pretty solid job that was bringing in solid dough, which is also dope because you were able to leverage that into getting into some properties. What was like, what was the reason why you couldn't get into the fix and flips on your own? Like, what made you feel the need to, kind of invest into learning into this knowledge in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, like you said, I started with my own like income. It was in the beginning, it was good, especially because COVID, I saved a lot of money. I bought like my
Hmm.
first house, like I put like a payment down. But as I started doing my business more, I realized that like cash is such a valuable thing in this whole like big business, and I realized like taking the time to save my own money and going through that process. It just takes like so long. It's probably going to take a
Yeah,
whole
right.
and obviously I wanted to see how I could like leverage cash overall in like a in general. So that's why I was like, okay, I'm sure there has to be a way out there to use the bank money or to find cash to be able to like help me invest in all these properties that I want to work on without having to
Hmm.
own like a personal income all the time.
Yeah, because I imagine too with the first couple properties you got like that was probably what from all like savings and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
for
exactly.
you, how long did that like what was the down payment looking like for that on your like first one or two properties and like how long did that take for you to like accumulate that sort of funding?
Yeah, so I've had my business for like going on 3 years now. So the first house,
Hmm.
like everything I put down with the down payment, the closing costs and all that stuff was I would say about like a $15,000. And like, at that time, that was the biggest expense I ever made. And I and I started like started renting the whole like a house, and then I was like, okay, I want to acquire more property, but then I was like, okay, if I want to get a second property, I will have to put more of a bigger down payment, like first of all,
Hmm.
and I will have to take the time to save more money and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
and now the second property. The down payment was more like a 20% instead of a typical 3%.
Yeah.
So I actually like I had a vehicle that I owned that I didn't really use anymore. So I sold it off and sold like
Oh damn. So
and
you were in
actually
it. You're like, dude, I'm fucking
I
getting
was
in
in
this.
it. Yeah, I actually like
Yeah.
liquidated like some stocks that I own as well, just so I could
Hmm.
charge the second 20% down payment for the second house. But then I was like, if I want to keep doing this, I can't be just taking my saving account and liquidating everything I have all the time.
Yeah.
Has to be a way.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah.
yeah, that's funny because that's literally the issue that most real estate investors find themselves into. It's just like, dude, I want to keep investing, but
Yeah,
literally they get asset rich and cash poor. They're literally selling, like in your
I
case, you're
know.
literally selling off stocks, like all your assets. And what's cool too is with this whole business credit strategy, and the reason why I'm so passionate about it and love it is like I've invested in other businesses where I had to sell off like my Bitcoin. Like I invested in that when I was like 13 years old, $600 a piece. So like you can imagine that the value of it now that I have is a fuck ton.
Yeah,
And I made the mistake of investing in other businesses by liquidating that. But like a year later, that what I sold it for at the time was like, let's say 30K, but the next year was like 40 or 50K. And I was like, fuck, like, so having that 0% allows you to not have to dip into stuff that is going to come continue to appreciate. And with the business credit, the idea of it, it's 0%. It's, you can make it 0% for multiple years, but by the time you need to pay it off, whatever you invested is going to be able to pay itself off. And like, kind of as like a worst case scenario, you have your other assets like stocks to pay it back if it takes a little bit longer. So there's levels to it. And I just thought it was very interesting. Like, literally, like, I love your commitment to real estate. Like, literally willing to sell off not just stocks, but your fucking car. That's fucking badass, dude. Like, a
yeah.
lot of
I
people
mean,
say they
that
want to do this,
was
but they aren't willing to go that far, like they aren't that serious.
yeah, exactly. No, like because I was like, at least I want to own like two property, and obviously I was like, I was just I literally did so much like a brainstorming on how to go about this, and I was like, well, I have like a Discord that I know I'm not gonna so it was like a kind of like a secondary car I bought just for fun, and I parked
Uh-huh.
there uh at my dad's place, and I was like, okay, you might as well
Yeah.
just sell it if I want to really go all in this like a big business and things. So that's why. But overall as well, I also try to be careful because I'm like I don't want to obviously jeopardize my life saving just but
Of
the
course.
house, yeah, but the house was such a good
Yeah.
deal. Obviously now it is worth like so much more than I paid for it. So which is a good thing overall.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think that's like another like hidden cost to like the business credit is just like use like most Americans, they don't even have like $5,000 saved to their name, right? Let alone 15,000 to invest into a house. And it's like the sooner you're able to get into that deal, one, that's the cheapest the house is ever it's going to be. The sooner you're into the deal, that just means more time you're going to let it appreciate. And if you're renting, you're saving money because now you're not spending money towards rent. You're paying money towards the mortgage, gaining more equity. And then if it's an investment property, you could write off like depreciation and all that. So like the sooner
Exactly.
you could get into the deal, the better. And what I've been telling people too with if you're doing more of like a buy and hold strategy is like by the time like your 0%'s up, you could always take out like a HELOC or like a cash out refi to pay back the 0% card, and now you still keep the asset. You're just paying a normal like interest rate, like a mortgage on it. So there's a lot of cool stuff on the real estate side. I kind of wanted to switch gears in terms of kind of like the credit. So like you had already been doing the real estate stuff. As far as like 0% business credit, you mentioned like you wanted to get a little deeper into learning, how do I leverage OPM? Did you have any knowledge or like experience with applying for business credit before joining the program?
Actually, no. Well, I mean, I did apply for one Chase
The
business,
the
which
Chase
is
card,
one,
yeah.
but
What
like
what'd you get on it?
apparently, yeah, apparently, like I butchered it because it wasn't set up like a properly, and I had only like a
Hmm.
$5,000 limit on it. So when I talked to you the first time, I really didn't know anything about like a business credit or like a 0%.
Hmm.
Obviously, like a key, and it was like just talk to you, see what you gotta say, and how I feel about it. So that was my really
Hmm.
first introduction in this whole like 0% like a business area, and just trying to learn more about this field in like in general as well.
Yeah. And that's like, well, one, I appreciate you like trusting me so early on. So that's like awesome because we were able to like, but by having your faith and just like my proven system, like literally, we got results literally like within the first like couple weeks of the program, which was really dope. But I think what you mentioned earlier too is like I see this a lot with people is like if they don't really know the funding game, they'll try to go out, they'll send out a bunch of applications, and then what happens is they either get denied or they get low limits. And like in your case, like the 5K, and it's just like a lot of these banks, like what people don't see the hidden opportunity cost is like if you get approved for a low limit or denied in the beginning, you're not going to be, you already kind of like messed up your relationship with that bank, and you can't just apply with them on the next card and expect them to go from a 5K to like a 75 or 50K, whatever card, like right after. So just really getting your ducks in a row from the beginning is really solid, and kind of going from that starting point, not knowing too much about business credit. Once you did join the program, what like how was that kind of process from going to like not knowing too much about business credit into starting to see these much higher like approvals?
Yeah, so obviously, so I have to say the number one thing, honestly, like the material that you give us on the Notes app has been really like helpful. I literally like went through that so fast because I was just like so I was learning so much all the time, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm serious. I literally ate it up, honestly. So after I learned more about it and started doing my own like a research about it, and I also knew a lot of people who were into real estate, and then I started like making the connection like so this is how this guy was able to like buy two different properties at the same time and was doing all of this stuff, and I'm like I'm seeing like all the ins and outs now and all that stuff. So that
Yeah.
was like a big eye opener for me in this new area of like a 0% like a business credit card and the whole like a process of it. And it also like helped me as well to just to be more financial literate when it comes to real estate business in general as well. Because I was
Hmm.
even though I own like a two properties and all that stuff, there was so many things I didn't knew in the real estate space because there's it's always a learning experience, and I'm learning about all the
Hmm.
aspects of the real estate and like how can you do like a fixed flip like a correctly the process of that as well
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
how to like partner with people. You know, it was just such a learning experience on this new area. Even though I've been in this business for like 2 years, I was discovering a whole new like a section of the real estate I didn't even knew existed, honestly.
Yeah, because you kind of came in as like almost like a newbie investor, had some properties, and now like, and that makes me like really happy because that's like the whole goal of the program is like obviously like I've had experience with obviously number one the business credit, but two like investing in real estate. But like for me, like my where I feel the most confidence is being able to walk people through like literally like holding your guys' hand through like, hey, this is how we get the funding. I'm not going to teach you fix and flips because I don't feel like super confident, but we have the resources, the community, and the people in this program. Like even on the live group coaching calls, we're going to be having a shit ton of people on here. Just who have six, multi 7 figure portfolios. So you're just going to talk like, hey, this is
Yeah.
how I fucking do the thing, and where we get to build that community and branch
Yeah,
off
and
and
on
help each
top
other
of it,
build.
honestly, sorry, on top of it, I think like on top of you like teaching us the way of the 0% down, the most important thing about this whole thing is probably the community. Like for me, like I
Hmm.
was able to meet so many people like a Devin obviously, and built all these like a connection of underwriters. You know, it's just like the
Yeah.
yeah, honestly, the community has been such a really, I would say it is like the most bonus thing that you get out of this whole thing, which is the community. It just helps on the long run, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. And then like obviously people come in, like you came in for the business credit so you could get the more real estate, but like I think the long-term value is just being around those people who think because like dude, entrepreneurship's a fucking lonely world, dude. Like
Yeah,
for like anybody watching this, especially if you still live in your hometown, hanging out with the same people you're smoking weed and drinking with back in high school, like nobody's fucking thinking about the next level. And if you're the only one or two people thinking like this, like people are gonna drag you down. And if you pay to be in the rooms with the people who think like this, you're just gonna like immediately excel. Because like literally from you, um, you didn't know shit about like you knew stuff about real estate. You learned more by being in the community and joining the program and what we taught. And then also same thing with like the business credit. Didn't really know shit about that. had a coach that was going to walk you through it, and seeing like other people in the program winning and being able to see like, okay, this worked for this person. I'm going to apply that to me. Mikkel told me to do this. Like in terms of that, what like, because I remember you signed up back in like December or something like that. And then that was the same month because I was just like, hey, just give me a little bit of cash up front just so I know you're serious, and then just pay me off in full once we get the first like 25K in funding. Like what were the first like approvals that we got for you?
Yeah, if oh, that is a good. Honestly, there was so many approval I can't think of the first one anymore. I think the first one was a CLI on my business on my Chase business credit card, and then
Hmm.
after I updated my experience like a profile and got rid of
Hmm.
all of the two
Inquiries.
inquiries. Yeah,
Yeah.
we really like a dive deep into doing the applications. And the first bank was a Choice Bank, if I remember correctly, and we got approved for like a
20.
25.
Was it 20? Yeah, 25.
Yeah, 25K. And honestly, one thing also was like, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to just put like a down payment first, and then actually like learning the material, getting approved, seeing the results before I pay the rest of the money. Because like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, this is also like a business, and I want to make sure I'm getting everything out of it as well. So it
Of
definitely.
course, yeah. Like, cause my
Uh,
biggest thing too is just like, dude, like I'm like, I'm not just starting off anymore. Like before I was, and I was just like, dude, like, how do I make this as easy as possible for people? How do I build that trust? Cause I'm like, dude, like, I've invested tens of thousands of dollars into other coaches where I just got fucked, like
yeah.
super hard. So I was just like, how do I like? I know where they're at. They're probably scared about this shit. Like they just want to make sure they're getting results. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to take on any clients where I don't think I'm not confident I could get them funding within the first couple weeks, let alone like at most 60 days. And like after working with you, or just talking to you, I was like, okay, I know this guy's serious, so he's not going to be a slapdick. He's going to take action, be able to move forward on what I tell him to do. And just your profile was solid. We just needed to know what the actual formula was. And yeah, I just wanted to make it as easy, low risk, no brainer as possible. And I'm glad that you took advantage of that and took that knowledge and was be able to run with it. Because like with Chase, we got like a 10K credit limit increase, then Truist 25K, and then what was the other one? US Bank.
Yeah, it was a US Bank was a like a 20K limit. And honestly, uh everything, I mean the process was like so easy to for me to follow specifically because it was just like follow all these instructions and all that stuff. And like it was so easy for me. I could literally have gotten like approved for more like a credit card if I just kept going. But I was like, you know what? I only needed like a 50K. Let me stop for now and focus on actually doing the flip because I'm like I don't want to obviously become too like a greedy with the whole thing, but like it was just so easy. It's just honestly so easy to get approved if you follow all the rules and if you like have like everything set up exactly how it was supposed to be. So
Yeah,
my
dude,
experience.
you were. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So my experience like a like a person has been really great. It's definitely been like just an easy like a path like to follow. But I've I know I can get approved for more if I were to apply like right now. But like I said right now, I don't need it anymore. So I'm like taking the time to just like build like a connection and actually get into
Yeah,
the fix and flip and get my hands like dirty in that area instead.
yeah. Because literally, it took us like what? It was like 3 weeks to get 55K between all the funds, and that was
Yeah.
us going slow because you were like, okay, I got this approval. I want to wait, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, just let
Yep.
me know. Like, I think we took a break on one of the meetings because I was just like, all right, dude. Well, let me know when you want to get more, and then like you're like, hey, let's rip another application. All right,
Yeah,
boom. So
exactly.
like
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Yeah,
like
yeah.
we could get more, but like this is us. Anybody watching is like 55K in 3 weeks. I'd say that's pretty fast. And this is us like being conservative and slow with it. And like anybody watching this too, like, well, I really enjoyed working with you. I'm just gonna say it again. Was just like you were serious, you were motivated, you could follow directions, and anybody watching this, like like you said, if you could just follow the fucking directions and use the resources, you're gonna see the results. And if that's something you're not confident in, then this isn't the program. Like complete automatic disqualification. I don't want to work with you. If you want a done for you system, we could do that. But like if you want to learn this, you know, be more like Sonny. Be motivated, be driven, and just be able to follow the directions. Because like literally with as far as like the course modules and like the one like because we already talked about the community and the group calls like why don't you talk about your experience as far as just like following like how in depth was the course modules and like the one-on-ones like how was that for you?
Yeah, absolutely. No, like I mentioned in the beginning, the courses were really like easy to follow. For obviously, I'm looking for my personal experience. It was really easy to follow for me because I knew exactly what I wanted to learn. And honestly, you also had I would say the way you had it like a setup was you knew what comes next after each step. I'll start, in the beginning was create your a LC. Then it was fix all your a credit stuff. Then I learn about actually applying for the credit cards. Then learn about getting those there's a connection with the RAs. So it was just the way it was set was just it was as you go, things were going smoothly as well, and you were exactly where you needed to be for the next
Mm-hmm.
journey overall. And the material were really easy to learn. I actually watched the videos some of the videos that are some areas I want to learn more about multiple times just because it was a bit beneficial as well. And the good thing is some of them, most of them were on YouTube as well. So actually a funny thing, I see more a related bit a video every time I was just oh, let me watch something else because I'm it's obviously good to learn from a multiple aspects. So I was learning from it, I was it's also just discovering new things to learn all the time as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, from my experience, honestly, it's been really great with the material, and I also saw you just been adding more into it. So exactly, so it is
Mm-hmm.
all so this is what you get, and that's it. You actually still give me access to it all the time, and I have access to it whenever I want
Mm-hmm.
to watch the video, and whenever you add something new or a better a process, I can go back and watch it. Oh, this is how he did it the new way. This is even more efficient and all that stuff as well.
Yeah, dude, I'm glad you appreciate that. Because, like, my thing too is just like, obviously, this isn't a cheap program. But at the end of the day, if you're getting, 100, 200, 300K to like completely change your life and invest in real estate, like, I want to make it as value, like, no brainer, like I said, as like widen that gap of like price and value, like, to make it just so easy. Like, okay, this is worth it. And like, this isn't like a coaching program where it's just like, all right, well, I added new shit. Like, now you got to pay me more or something, like that. It's just like, all right, like, I'm trying to over deliver the fuck on this, which I'm like really glad too. Like as far as the course modules, like you were able to just pick it up really quickly. Like I feel like I try to make it as like step by step, like literally share my screen, even have like the written SO, like here's step one, like it written out to make it like even easier for people. Um, I guess the last thing I wanted to ask was um, what was it kind of like working with me, like the one-on-one aspect? Because that's kind of really right now, like my biggest selling point with people is just like, look, I'm invested in you, like, and I don't get paid unless you get paid type of thing, and like versus like a do-it-yourself type of model. Like, what
Yeah.
was it kind of like working with me?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually want to go back to something first. So when you say about the material, so here's the thing. Everything I need to know, we need to know, is on the videos as well. Obviously, you are not gonna be doing the application for us. If you just follow all the rules, everything just like a written down, just follow the rules, listen to the video, ask a questions and all that stuff. Related to the one-on-one, let's see, that has been probably one of the most a valuable thing for me as well because obviously everybody situation is a different, and I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate being able to talk to you a one-on-one just to focus on my situation, how it is going, like what to tackle, and like the process to go about it as well. And also, you also be real like flexible, because I definitely missed some time. I was sick. I had like stuff.
Yeah.
You obviously been like a flexible in that like arena of like whenever I'm available. If I'm not, we can like a reschedule something like that as well. I've also really like your word of encouragement. Like you said, this is like entrepreneurship is like a lonely world, so being able to like have somebody to talk to just encourage you, I would say over time, to say, oh, this is what you're doing, like you really in this new space, you have this going on, like you should be proud of yourself. Those
Hmm.
words of encouragement definitely probably means a lot. I'm sure
Hell
maybe
yeah.
like to that as well, because like you say, like I said, like sometimes I feel really lonely being in this business by myself and none of my friends doing it. I'm like, okay, yeah, am I doing like something wrong or something else? So I'm like,
No, you're doing it right. It's just like most people don't like think about it, but like, dude, like you already got two properties. You're looking into fix and flips. Like now we're gonna get more funding to get even more deals, dude. Like I'm super excited for you, and like I'm honestly like really happy Keon was able to connect us both, just because like, dude, like you're honestly like my ideal client. Like somebody, like I said, like motivated. Their credit's already solid, and they're teachable. They have that warrior mindset where they're ready to take action and resourceful, and like those are the type of clients, and hopefully people who watch this will resonate and will be able to attract more people like you into the program. Just because like I want to build a community of like whether you're young or old, just starting out with real estate or already have a portfolio like yourself, like I want to be able to like be the person that's bringing in that community together so that we could all grow together, keep and also keep learning from each other on the real estate side and like best practices for the funding stuff. That's what
yeah,
I'm here for. But like, sometimes the community hearing other people posting up wins like daily in the Slack channel is just one motivating, but also we get to learn like different processes that have worked for other people. So yeah, man,
yeah.
it's honestly been.
In relation to that, obviously, like about the community thing, like I've met so many people who I would consider like mentors like now. So everything
Mm,
it's really been great to learn from other people, and see what other people are doing, and like compare it to what I'm doing and see how I can obviously improve and learn from them.
hmm.
So that has been a good aspect of this whole like community class again as well.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, I'm stoked, dude. Well, I mean, dude, I'm really glad that you were able to get those results like super quickly. And like right now, we're at a standstill for funding. Obviously, you could let me know once you're ready to get more, but I'm happy to keep crushing it with you. Let me know where you need me. And dude, thanks, dude. Like again, thank you for being like an early believer in this program. And I'm so glad that you were here early on, and now you're just seeing like each like week and month like there's new faces on the program. Like it's just gonna keep fucking going
I'm
from
telling you,
here.
like every time I get a notification like somebody else, I'm like, wow, Migo, you are like a crushing it. I said,
Yeah, we're fucking crushing it, dude. Like, dude, I'm telling you, like, obviously, I want to make a shit ton of cash from this. Like, I'm trying to make some income from this because it's a service. But like my high is one closing new clients. Like, I get like such a big high, like from closing new clients, just because I'm like, dude, this person's gonna crush. I get excited because I'm gonna get them results that I'm gonna be able to flex and be able to do these type of client interviews. So like, other than the income, I've been like really focusing and reminding myself like impact over income. Just because I know this is going to be able to help a lot of people, and I'm glad that you're one of those early people to see it. And there's just so many more deals we're going to be able to keep working on together. And I'm stoked for both of us in the community. And I just want to say thank you so much from like the bottom of my heart for believing in it and taking the time to do this client interview, man. Appreciate you.
absolutely, absolutely, no problem. Again, it was a pleasure.